From Tally to Cali,
it's time
to wake up.
Wake up! Wake up! Warchant.com is your ultimate Seminole sports source.
And this is Wake Up Warchant, fueled by DeLuna Coffee.
Coffee's for closers only.
Now here's Warchant.com's Aslan Hajavandi
and Corey Clark.
What is up? Welcome on into this live edition of Wake Up Warchant. It is your Thursday podcast. We are live Wednesday night on YouTube. Hit that thumbs up. I'm Aslan. That's Corey. Wake Up Warchant, as always, sponsored and presented and fueled by DeLuna Coffee. Just use that promo code Warchant15 when you go over to DeLunaCoffee.com to save 15% off your order, and you cannot go wrong with anything on this website. Those two gentlemen would not lead you astray, would they, Corey?
They would not. They're just the salt of the earth. They're the salt of the panhandle.
There we go. That's right. Check out their coffee, their chocolate, their merch, everything. And that promo code, again, Warchant15, save you 15% off all the great stuff over at DeLunaCoffee.com. Warchant.com, your ultimate Seminole sports source. Promo code's in the left corner of the screen. It's Warchant30. Use it. Again, thumbs up, 5-star review, rating. We would appreciate that. Corey, here we are. Some 1,460-something days, I think, transpired between Florida State taking down Florida in the swamp in 2017 and then prevailing over Miami last Saturday. Life just feels different.
It does, man. It's nice when you, I assume for all of you, when you beat a rival, especially the way you beat your rival, just kind of breaking hearts and souls, like a soul-crushing couple of minutes there, had to be extra sweet. Yeah, man. Yeah, that's it's been a long time since you beat a rival. Feel good about it. It's exciting.
By the way, Mark wants to know, Mark Sermons, not to be confused with Mark Adamczyk, who's going to be in Boston for Warchant, and where's the party Friday night? Check with Mark from Naples. He'll be up there with his young son. Ira will be up there on behalf of the Ultimate Seminole Sports Source. I can't even remember. When was the last time I went to Chestnut Hill once. I went there in 2005 for that inaugural ACC game for Boston College, and I haven't been to BC at least ever since. I don't remember anything about that game or that stadium. I just remember it being a long walk back, although we won.
Yeah, I went in 16, 15 maybe, the Everett Golson year, the 14-0 win. Jalen had a fumble return for a touchdown. That was the only time I've been, and it was fun. It was a really cool trip. I went with my now ex-wife, then wife, and made a couple days out of it. Did the Patriot Trail thing, whatever that thing is, went to the Paul Revere. You can tell I'm a history buff, like I remember all the things. It's like a Freedom Trail, maybe it's called, and they have the Revere Church or something. Either way, also went to Cheers. So saw all the cool stuff.
It is the Freedom Trail. Well done, Corey.
Yeah, I remember that. I think it's something to do with the church and Paul Revere, but that I might be completely fouling that up. I know Paul Revere rode and told people the British are coming, or at least that's in the poem. I don't know how much of
there's a church, but it's not the Paul Revere church. Paul Revere's on there.
Okay.
Paul Revere's house.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, there you go. Whatever it is, it's a lot of history up there in Boston. So we did the Freedom Trail and walked like 12 miles. That was rough.
Ulysses S. Grant, not from Boston, but who cares?
Nice, Aslan.
Rob Rathbun, sorry. I just want to go back to my old bad habits. Rob Rathbun in the house, just dropping $50, not even saying anything. Rob, we appreciate you. You might get your name on this thing, Rob.
He's earned it. He's on there for sure if we ever meet him. We got to meet you in person, though, or you don't get to sign it.
Yeah, we don't know if you're real or not, man.
Yeah.
No, we know. We can confirm. We appreciate it. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much, Rob. That's very kind. Thank you.
Carol says, I think we got to call it the 4th and 14 Travis signature win on parchment paper.
That's a mouthful, Carol.
She thinks Jordan has progressed immensely. What are our thoughts on his progression as a quarterback after that big Miami win? Beat Boston College, all caps, exclamation point.
Yeah, it was good to see. When you go back to the Clemson game, the only time they moved it at all really was him throwing from the pocket on first down. And then I thought and then North Carolina, he obviously threw it well. And in this game, which was those are his last 3 games, it does seem like he's making steps. He's taking strides in throwing the ball. He's still, got work to do, like most quarterbacks with 12 starts have to do. But yeah, I think he's getting better. I think it's obvious he's getting better. I don't know what his ceiling is. It's higher than it is right now. It's higher than now, though. Like, he's pretty good right now, but he can get that much better. He can get immensely better. Immensely better. That's terrible grammar. Get your head together, Clark. You're live on YouTube. This is Wake Up Warchant. Let's go. Carroll deserves better than that. But I do think he's progressing. I do think he has a chance to be a very good college quarterback before he's done.
All right, well, Holton follows up with, if we can get Travis through these next 2 games healthy, do you think he can bulk up a little bit in the offseason and improve his durability?
I just don't think you don't want to take away some of the stuff that makes him special. I think you can get I think he said he put on 10 or 12 pounds last offseason. And he's not leaving every game now. I guess he did leave this game, but I don't think he missed the snap, did he? No, he didn't. He did go to the locker room for the arm contusion, but he came right back and was fine. And the game before, he missed because of the flu. And he played the whole Clemson game, played the whole North Carolina game. So played the whole Syracuse game. That wasn't happening last year. He wasn't finishing 4 games in a row from start to finish with a flu game mixed in there. So, you don't want him to get it too thick where he loses the mobility that can make him extra special. I don't know. I don't know how much weight would be needed to avoid injuries like that.
No, I mean, it's up here for him, man. I mean, playing through the pain, it's up here. It's not maybe it's some here.
Well, look, some of it is like, if you're really injured, you're really injured. You know what I mean? But like, if you have a concussion or something like that, yes. But I think we all go back to Aslan, the whatever that was, the Tuesday before the Syracuse game.
Right.
Where he didn't practice, I don't think. And then the next day he was practicing full speed. Yeah. Like, it was almost as if, hey, buddy, we need you. We've got to have you. If you can play at all, you've got to play. And he seems to have taken that to heart. But yeah, I just think the way he plays the position and his body, his frame, he's going to get banged up, man. He's going to get dinged up. You have to figure out a way to play through it if you can. Says the bald sports writer sitting in the comfort of his.
Hey, man, you had the tooth problem the other day. You played through it. Yeah.
Well said. And remember, I got the cancer removed, and I didn't miss a beat. So I know of what I speak, guys.
Tom Mortner, wondering about the development of our first and second year defensive ends. Physically, I know most of them need to add functional weight, but I was wondering, have they been flashing? I haven't seen a lot of flashing going on during practice, but I'm usually not watching them when they're doing pass pro stuff. And when they're playing, when they're going first team defense against scout to get ready, I mean, they're just annihilating the guys in front of them. So it's really a kind of hard barometer. Derek McClendon, they're going to count on him next year. I know, people might feel all that bullish about him. I don't think they're going to rest on what they have on this roster. They're going to obviously pursue more talent. Shout out Tyree West, I think, was on campus from Tifton today, 5-star. Maybe he could help out too. But yeah, Patrick Payne's another guy that they kind of have an eye on. Seems like they feel good about. Quayshawn Fuller's a guy that we've seen flash during games, but I haven't seen our guy George Wilson do anything all that spectacular to catch my eye recently, and I don't really even know all that many other defensive ends other than those 2 I just mentioned that are younger guys, and obviously the freshmen in Peyton and Wilson, scholarship-wise.
Yeah. They, look, man, you want them to develop. I know they think they got something in Peyton. Both those guys, really, the way they talked about them. You just can't expect any freshman defensive ends to make much of an impact. It just does. In the history of college football, the history of Florida State football, it's been very, very rare that a freshman defensive end has made any sort of impact at all. Brian Burns is a freshman year. I think he had 10 sacks, but he was just a third down guy. You couldn't play him on other downs, or they didn't play him anyway. So it's a lot to ask. We will know much more about them against Duquesne, baby. We'll see what they look like against Duquesne, and obviously, no matter how they look in the spring, you are going to want to upgrade that position with the thing we call the transfer portal.
That's right. Sage Rubin sounds like Lincoln Riley to LSU. I don't know about that. How would that affect FSU?
Is that new? Because the last I saw was Feldman saying it wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, no, I mean.
And that was like 45 minutes ago.
This was 9 minutes ago he posted that.
Who did? No, I'm saying like Bruce Feldman. he's pretty dialed in. When
Oh, no, I know what I'm saying. This comment was 9 minutes ago that they posted it. 10 minutes now. No, the only thing, and it wouldn't even be Lincoln Riley, but if LSU were to hire a real good coach, like maybe they would go after David Johnson. And David Johnson, he's not attached at the hip to Mike Norvell, but he believes in him. So, I mean, he left Tennessee. He left Memphis for Tennessee, obviously bigger job, higher paying job. He left Tennessee to come work for Mike Norvell because he believes in him, at least more so than Jeremy Pruitt. But LSU's home. I mean, I would think that'd be the only thing. And I'm not even saying that's a likelihood or a probability by any stretch. But if anything to affect FSU on a hire at LSU, it would just be somebody getting in his ear about, hey, you probably need a guy that knows the lay of the land. That David.
Well, I think that also is more about, you play them in game 2 next year. That's the real question about how it affects FSU. But yeah, I just checked Feldman on Twitter an hour ago. He tweeted lots of chatter about Lincoln Riley leaving OU for LSU, but I'm hearing that is not going to happen. And Bruce Feldman's about as good as it gets when it comes to college football reporting. As a national guy, he's really dialed in, especially with that program because he knows Ed O so well. He wrote a book with Ed O, so he knows Ed O.
Yeah, Ed O's gone. And he also said that Norvell was on the hot seat after like week 3 on his hot seat rankings. And I think somebody got to him and was like, hey, man, they're not firing him even if they go 0-12.
Yeah.
He's conspicuously absent.
But, right, like, I don't think he'd just tweet that out there without having a pretty good source there.
Right.
But either way, that would be odd anyway. I just don't know why Lincoln Riley would leave Oklahoma for LSU. That would be odd. But Jimbo's not going there. He made that as clear as he's ever made it when he's talking about the LSU job. He never talked like that when he was at Florida State and LSU was calling. He's like, I don't talk about jobs. I'm happy here. I love it here. I don't talk about offers. It's not fair to the coaches, whatever he wants to say. But at A&M, he's like, nope, I'm not going there. Can I be more clear? Basically doing his Saban when he was with the Dolphins.
Yeah, he's like, I'm about to recruit maybe the best class in the nation. I would be dumb to stock this roster up and then leave. But it's
to
like,
go play against it.
Yeah, they're all not gonna go to A&M though if you leave, man. Like they will follow you.
Still, don't be like that with Jimbo. He was making a point. So he seems I don't know how much LSU fans wanted him anyway. They would take him, but I think they're clearly they're aiming higher. They're going after Lincoln Riley. Maybe they'll try Kirby Smart next. I don't know.
Wes in the Villages, what's up, gentlemen? We have the choke-a-doke for one rival. Can we call the game against Miami the rally and tally? I'm feeling some marketing going on. Go Noles. Do you want to tell them the bad news, or do you want me to tell them the bad news?
What? What's the bad news?
Some people actually refer to choke-a-doke at rally and tally? Wasn't that kind of originally what it was called? And choke-a-doke, maybe like a few days later, was like, oh, this is it now? This sounds so much better. I've heard something else referred to rally and tally before.
Oh, I don't know. I
had 2 monikers.
I'm long on record saying I'm not a huge fan of choke it doke because it kind of takes away the comeback. It's more about what Florida did than what Florida State did, but it's also poking fun at your rivals, which is always fun. And they did choke away a 31-3 lead. Luckily, I've never been a fan for a team that choked away a big lead late in the second half or fourth quarter. I wouldn't know what that feels like. So I'm lucky in that regard. But Florida fans probably still remember that 27 years later. Hey, rally and tally could work. I think 4th and 14. Honestly, I think 4th and 14 is how it's always going to be remembered. Apologies to our men, Ricks and D-Rob. But see, the thing because Chris Ricks in 2003 hit Dominic Robinson on a 4th and 14 late in the fourth quarter at the Swamp. And then the very next play is PK Sam. But it's still that's more remembered Ricks to Sam.
Right.
Even though it wouldn't have happened without the 4th and 14. That was a pivotal play. It was the most famous 4th and 14 play in Florida State history until about 72 hours ago.
There was something I wanted to mention about that. Yeah, shout out to SID Steven. He was saying that the completion from Ricks to Robinson was 24 yards on the 4th and 14, and so was Saturday's play against Miami.
Oh, there you go. They should get a 4th and 14 more often. That's the only time Norvell should go for it. He's always going for 4th and 3s around his own 40. How about a 4th and 14, buddy?
Rod wants me to keep you honest. I'm trying, Rod. I'm trying, man. Eric Johnson, can we give Coach Fuller a little love because he was a scapegoat early in the season? I mean, you need talent. If he was at UGA, he would be sought out.
Sought after.
Need players, man.
Absolutely. Now he's got a defensive line. That was kind of given to him. The two best ones are transfers, and Lovett's a transfer too from last year. So, but no, he's certainly done. They just look different. They didn't look coached at all last year. They didn't look coordinated at all last year. It was a very tough situation he was thrown into with maybe players that weren't fully invested in a COVID season where, who knows who was available and who wasn't for many of those practices. Now that they've had stability and he's coaching the same, what would you say, 15 guys that are playing the majority of the reps now?
Yeah.
14, 15 guys. They are better. They are better, man. Look, Miami was lucky to score 28, honestly. And I would have thought that would have been Florida State could have gotten out of there by giving up 14 points to a very, very good offense. I thought they played really well on Saturday. And they've been playing much better lately, for sure.
They played 19 guys against Miami.
But how many more than how many were 3 snaps?
I'm not doing all that, man. You got a computer too, man. Wake Forest, they played. That's the comparison is how much they've come throughout the season. So they had 19 against Miami playing defensively. And against Wake Forest, they played 26 guys. So
yeah, and I can guarantee you of those 19, there were probably 4 that played 3 snaps.
Yeah,
there's a core group that he's rolling with.
Tony, I was in Clemson too, man. My phone didn't ring. He wanted to take you and Ira out for a steak dinner. So kind of.
Oh, sorry, Tony. Yeah. Aslan, you could have waited in the car. We'd have gotten something to go, buddy. Thank you, Tony. Sorry, buddy. We were busy. We only got up there Saturday morning, and then we had to bounce right as soon as the game was over to listen to the Braves on the radio.
Kayvon says, whatever you think the ceiling is for Jordan Travis, Corey, he is crashing through it.
Well, no, I thought it was this. I'm not stunned by what he's done. My point is, I think there's really no way to know how good he can be, by the middle of next season, if he's healthy and continues to progress. Because you think about the guy that I just wrote a column about it. 2 years ago, he did his head coach that was on the hot seat and had Alex flipping Hornibrook would still prefer Hornibrook against Miami than Jordan Travis. And he still preferred James Blackman over Jordan Travis. Then he gets fired, and Odell's like, yeah, man, you can play a few snaps. And he did. But as I wrote, Jordan Travis, the rest of 19, played 24 snaps, and he threw the ball 4 times. Even Bryles didn't really believe in him enough to let him throw. Blackman threw, 4 picks in that game, had 5 turnovers in the Sun Bowl, and there was really no thought of putting Jordan Travis in the game. None. So he's gone from that, where he can't even overtake James Blackman having a horrible game and kind of melting down on the sidelines, to now where he is now. That's an incredible ascent in just basically 12, 13 full football games. So it get him some players out wide that teams really have to account for, and who knows where he goes, man. I'm impressed, man. I really am.
And, credit to Kenny and Mike for obviously coaching him up too, man. I mean, we almost sometimes make it sound like he was this hidden gem that just nobody knew about, which is possible. But I mean, I'll give them some credit for developing him.
Yeah.
Because again, I think Kendall Browse knows offensive football. I think Willie Taggart felt his job was on shaky ground. I can't imagine why either of those guys wouldn't throw a guy of Jordan Travis's caliber if he was that good at that point. So maybe it's as simple as them developing him, which also kind of goes a little bit to the whole Jeff Sims thing, which I'm never going to cry over spilled milk with him. Best of luck to him in Atlanta. I don't think he played last week against Boston College. But, I mean, there's a possibility that if they would have taken him, they might have been able to develop him, and they'd be in a better place with their freshman crop of quarterbacks than one of the guys being gone and then, Tate kind of being your third-string guy.
Yeah.
But
they got Duffy coming in, and that portal still might be open. Hey, our man Max Johnson got benched in the first quarter against Arkansas. So, hey, Max, if you want to come to bring your brother, you got to bring your brother, and you want to compete, buddy. That's the thing, though. I was talking about this on Headlines. The way Jordan Travis has played this year when he's healthy, I don't think you can go get it might limit who's interested in you in the portal, because I don't think you can sell, and they wouldn't anyway. There's no way you're guaranteeing anyone, yeah, you're going to be our starter. You're going to have to fight off this kid who has now been here for 3 years. You're going to have to beat him.
how good would you even have to play to take the? You would have to play Jameis Winston-esque level of football to take the job away from him. Like they're not going to get anybody worth their salt in the portal. I wouldn't think, man. There's no way.
They would get somebody for depth purposes, or somebody that's younger, like a guy that's just after his freshman year or something that thinks he can. That they could get second line. And look, you do sell that. Hey, man, we played 20 games since we've been here. Jordan Travis has been available for about 11 of them. There's going to be opportunity for you, we promise. I mean, you don't want to sell the fact that he misses games, but that's going to be interesting. Like last year, Mackenzie Milton had no real quarrel with, I can beat out Jordan Travis. Like, what's he done? Well, he's played 4 games. Well, he's got a lot more on his resume now, and it doesn't look – and he's made some really big plays and had some big moments. It doesn't look nearly as easy for a quarterback from another school to be like, oh, yeah, I can definitely start for these guys.
Moving along here, Kevin Johnson says Jordan launches 4th and 14 shirts. I'm wondering how long until Pokey launches his let it bounce on the 16 shirt.
Man, you are not lying. Is there any doubt that if Miami downs that at the 2 or the 1, that Miami wins that game? Probably. It shouldn't.
The win probability shoots through the roof, I would think.
Yeah, I don't know if you run that play, you run to Ja'Kai on the first play from the 20. If you're at the 1, you probably don't run that play. And who knows how the rest of that game goes? It is, man, inches, man. It comes down to inches. And my man letting that thing bounce on the 16, that's as improbable. That's more improbable. When have you seen a punt in a situation like that bounce on the 16 and roll into the end zone with no rush? Like they were in punt safe, so the punter had all day there were like 4 Miami guys around him, and it bounced through all of them. So Pokey's playing chess back there, guys.
Let's see here. What was the win probability? I think I can't get it all the way there, but it looks like, man, it's like fourth quarter is 88.3% at one point. Miami had a win probability. I don't know what it was. They don't let you drill down like to the the game, but I
would assume probably when it was 3rd and 4 with a 28-23 lead with 3 minutes to go was probably their highest win probability, I would think.
So wait, the 4th and 14 came after a false start?
That seems right. I know there was a pass interference that people thought was pass interference that wasn't called. I did not think it was pass interference. You wouldn't want that called on your DB.
Correct.
And then I know there was a tackle for loss. I guess there was a false start. They didn't have many of them though. They haven't had many in this whole, knock on wood.
Yeah, 3rd and 9 at the Miami 20 with a minute and 11 left, and a false start by Darius Washington. 83.3 was Miami's win probability at that point.
Oh, sorry, Miami. Sorry, Miami. That 11.7% snuck up on you.
There's Eric from Cincinnati with $31. It's a sign. Mm-hmm. What's up, guys? Well, we took care of Miami. Now on to Boston College. 31-17 Noles in Beantown. Hopefully we end up going to a bowl.
We're with you, Eric. We'll do a lot. If they get to a bowl, we should do a live show that Sunday. I guess there's the Sunday Smash that does that too. So maybe we do a live Monday show or something to celebrate where we're going. Online, as people are watching in real time, you could book your flight to El Paso or something. That would be fun. Little sneak behind the curtains of going to a bowl, applying for your credential, all that fun stuff, Aslan. But thank you very much, Eric. You're the best. You're always here. It's much appreciated for real. You're here somewhere as well on the pillar.
Oh yeah. You're at the bottom, which I don't like. We need to move you up higher. Because you're the lighthouse, man. You're always there. You're lit. You're there for us.
Yeah.
Our guy Get Down or Lay Down letting me know that it was Hugh Millen who was a quarterback for the Patriots before Bledsoe.
The great Hugh Millen.
Yeah, appreciate that. Jimmy Vance, he's the one who asked whether that 6-6 season would be the best in collegiate football history because it would involve beating Miami, which would lose their head coach, and then you would beat Florida, which would maybe end up firing their coach as well. So he says 1 down, 2 to go for that best 6-6 season in college football history. Amazing how big of a win that was versus Miami. 4th and 14, Vance Spike.
You should spell Spike with a Y, though. Really go for that play on that last name. But yeah, that's crazy. We haven't talked enough about. I feel like we would have probably spent 25 minutes on it if Florida State had lost because Jordan Travis spiked it with 2 seconds left when you're not allowed to do that. Like, what are you guys doing? You do 6 periods of special teams, and your quarterback doesn't know the rule about 2 seconds or less. You can't spike it. So yeah, it was an all-time win, man. For a 4-6 team, it's one of the better wins you could ever have. Just the way you did it. The 4th and 14, we'll always remember the spike. Therefore, the ball game is over. That should be on T-shirts. Has that ever been uttered? Those words in that order, I don't know, have ever been uttered to end a football game. So yeah, man, it was all really cool, and it would be certainly the best 6-6 season in Florida State history, and it would be right up there if it meant starting a season 0-4, then ripping off 6 wins in 8 games at the tougher part of your schedule, and knocking off your 2 rivals that you haven't beaten in a long, long time. That would be an epic finish to a 6-6 season.
Corey, you mentioned it's really hard to play and start at defensive end at the high level, Power 5. Chris Sanders asked, if he were to commit, does Marvin Jones Jr. start?
Well, look, if Marvin Jones Jr. is watching this show right now, absolutely, man. You're starting from day one. I'll promise you, you're coming off the edge that first snap for Duquesne. That's my promise to you. You're going to get to play a lot. But now turn it off, Marvin. Come on, you're an 18-year-old kid. Go have fun.
Yeah.
No, I would not think that he start. He will play. He would play a good bit, I think, because of the body type, the skill set he would bring coming off the edge. But that's against Duquesne. That's fine. But I don't know how much you can play whatever he would be. You know, he's not the biggest guy in the world right now. You got to put on some real weight on him, and how much you play him against LSU in any down but third down when it's an auto pass rush down. I don't know how much he would play. And that's no offense to him. It's just I've seen a bunch of these 5-star defensive ends here and elsewhere. Very, very few of them make an impact as a freshman, a big impact. Certainly it's hard to make an impact that early in their freshman year.
Austin Flowers, if both Florida State University and Florida are 5-6 heading into the final game, would this be the only time that game has been the decider on who goes bowling? I can't. Yeah, I mean, I think so. Yeah,
I think
town match. Yeah.
I thought it was set 2017. They were in similar boats where Florida State had to win to keep their bowl streak alive, and Florida was right there too on the cusp of being bowl eligible.
I think they had 4 wins. I thought they were 4-7 going into that game, Florida. So I mean, 5 gets.
So that was their second 4-8 season. Oh, It might have been. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, they ended the season 4-7. Yeah, and I think they tried to take some sort of moral high ground because the game got canceled and they didn't reschedule it. But it's like if you beat Florida, you would have rescheduled. If you would beat Florida State, y'all would have rescheduled.
Absolutely. Yeah, because then FSU rescheduled that other game to get bowl eligible. Yeah, probably.
Which is fine. People who had problem with that, losers. Sorry. I mean, that game was on the schedule. Why not play it? I had no problem. I can't believe.
You know what I do remember is in 1981, these two teams played. It must have been 81. And back then, the bowls were so goofy that they would pick who was going to go to the bowl like in the early November, even with games left. In the Peach Bowl, it basically said, Florida State, UF, whoever wins this game, you're going to the Peach Bowl. And Florida beat the bejesus out of Florida State and went to the Peach Bowl, and Florida State did not go to a bowl. That was the last time they hadn't been to a bowl until these recent years. But that was 35-3. And so Florida. So my dad had already bought Peach Bowl tickets because we lived in Atlanta, and he's like, "Hey, Florida State wins this game, they're going." By the way, they didn't think they were going to finish with 3 straight losses, and that one to Southern Miss was a doozy. I mean, that came out of nowhere. Southern Miss was not that good to lose 58-14. But so then Florida played, I think, West Virginia in the bowl game, maybe in the Peach Bowl. And so we went to the game, even though Florida State wasn't playing in it, just to cheer against Florida. So I went to that game as a 6-year-old.
And West Virginia won 26-6.
Yeah, we were excited. And one of the cars in the parking lot had a 35-3 sign on it in the car because that was a Florida fan. And my dad wrote something, not nasty, but wrote something on a sheet of paper and put it in the he wrote the score of the West Virginia game and then put it under the guy's windshield.
I can't believe that the Oktoberfest season didn't even end in a bowl game. That's crazy. But I just can't believe this either. This is amazing. According to Wikipedia, Florida coach Charlie Pell was so disappointed by his team's performance in the 81 Peach Bowl that he burned the game film and buried it in the Gators practice field.
It's like their own sod cemetery. What are they going to do for the first half on Saturday? Where's that buried?
Oh, man. Kyle, Get Down, Lay Down asks, do we give Willie credit for bringing in Jordan Travis or discredit him for not using him?
I would like, and there's no way he would talk about it with cameras on right now. I would like to know what that recruitment was like. I always got the impression it wasn't Willie pursuing as much as Jordan saying, hey, would you be interested? Could I come down there? Because, you can't recruit kids that are on another team's campus, and he was at Louisville at the time. But, yeah, I mean, he did end up coming to Florida State with Willie there, so he does deserve credit, but he also deserves a little bit of scorn because you feel like, man, I'm not saying Jordan Travis was ready to start at quarterback and play 70 snaps at Florida State, but, man, you put him in for 3 plays against Boston College, the first 3 plays of his career there, and 2 of them were long running touchdowns. Like, I felt like maybe that could have been utilized a little earlier in the season than the 10th game.
I probably did this before, but looks like one of the earliest reports of Travis transferring was the 26th. And then Browse got hired on the 22nd. I know some people, and again, I can't corroborate this, but some people were saying there was more Kendall involved in getting him down here than it was Willie.
Well,
might jive up. I mean, there was 6 days.
Well, hey, it wasn't like Willie stayed up at night thinking about recruiting quarterbacks, it would not appear, because that was the thing he did not bring to campus ever.
I don't know, Gregory. We'll find out. Andrew Duncan says, no love for Adam Fuller yet. FSU's defense ranks around 70th. You don't get love for that. Florida just fired their defensive coordinator, and their defense is ranked 40th. I believe we need a new DC. You're in the minority on that. I'm not going to say I think you're wrong. I like you, though, Andrew, but you're wrong.
Well, but I'm not advocating for anybody's firing, but I also we can't just use total defense as a metric. Not that it's not a fair one, but again, you look at what they've done I would have not, if I was the head coach at Florida State at halftime of that Louisville game, I might have been like, that's Odell, take over. Adam, you know where your office is. I'm having a hard time looking at you, buddy. I love what you've done. You've tried hard, but I can't watch this anymore. But since the second half of that Louisville game, man, they've been a solid defense. Not great, but solid. I would guess at halftime of Louisville, their defense was around 108th. I think right now in yards per play, they're in the top 35 in the country in defense, top 30. They don't get helped out a lot sometimes especially when Jordan Travis doesn't play, by an offense that does diddly poo for long stretches. So the defense is on the field a lot. But I think when the offense is playing pretty well with Jordan Travis, that defense gives you a chance in every game. It's got to get better. Nobody's arguing it doesn't. But the improvement from, like, Grantham's defense didn't improve at all from last year to this year, I don't believe. Maybe it did. I guess they were horrible last year on defense, weren't they?
They were not all that great. I mean, the year before, though, they were pretty solid, though. In the first year he was there, they were kind of.
But you can't watch, Andrew, and I'm not disagreeing with you necessarily, but you can't watch this defense this year and think about what it looked like last year and not see the improvement. It's there. It does matter what the numbers say, but your eyesight matters too. It's a better defense. Is it good enough for Florida State? Well, of course not, but neither is 4 and 6. The offense is 84th in the country in total offense. Like, that's not good enough either. It's all a building process. So you hope next year you're in the top 50 or top 40, depending on what you get. And then after that, you can start thinking about a top 20, top 15 caliber defense. I don't know if Adam Fuller is the answer, but I don't think anything that's happened these last 6 weeks would be enough for you to be looking for a new DC.
Right. I mean, if Dan Lanning was like, hey, I don't like working for Kirby.
Well, then, you're looking – sorry, Adam.
Yeah.
Adam, it's been great. You can be our secondary coach. Well, no, we need Woodson. You can be a quality control assistant. We'll keep you on staff, but we're taking Dan Lanning. But other than that, I don't know.
Linebacker.
Or Venables. Maybe Venables wants to come south.
Florida State is 50th in the nation, allowing 5.34 yards per play. So
what were they? Can you look up last year? Is that quick? Is that something you can do quick?
No, it's not a quick thing. It's not a quick thing at all. But we'll answer this question. Read it.
There's only 7 to choose from. So no. You know, McDonald, until he got hurt, was having a pretty good season.
Read the question, Corey. It's also.
Sorry, podcast listeners. Corey, with all the tight ends on the team, do we have one that breaks through next season? Is an All-ACC or All-American? Probably not. I'm not guessing there's going to be an All-American on the offense next year. Plus, you got too many reps to split, apparently, with the they should have a poster of all the tight ends. Probably an NCAA record for most scholarship tight ends on a roster. I would imagine a couple of them might move on just to free up some space, and they realize, man, I'm 6th on the depth chart. What am I doing here? But I think that's going to be, as they develop, it's going to be a position that's more and more used in this offense. And they've got some cool stuff for the tight end. Those screens that they do sometimes where it looks like it's a run or an RPO, and they do the little quick screen to the tight end, and the defense is kind of over pursued. George Wilson had a big catch in that game on Saturday, and he's not a guy that's like probably what they want at that position as a tight end pass catcher. So, you know, maybe McDonald has a big year if he can get back to being healthy, and Jackson West is a guy they loved, but apparently he's just not ready to really contribute. But next year is a big year for him for sure because they love that dude.
Florida State 105th last year, allowing 6.47 yards per play.
So they jumped up 55 spots. Yeah. That's pretty impressive.
Pretty good. Pretty.
But again, if you want to look at it through the lens of should Florida State be expecting more than top 50? Absolutely. Yes. But last year they were god awful.
Matthew Cash, what a fitting name. $20. Thank you, Matthew. Appreciate you, man.
Thank you very much, Matthew.
Is it possible Phil Dracovic is the Boston College version of Van Spike with less weapons?
I think he's a little bit better runner than Van Spike. Sorry, Van Dyke. I guess that's what I'm just going to call him now. It's funny. It didn't even occur to me. Yeah, he definitely doesn't have the receivers. He's a good quarterback, man. I would imagine if he was at Miami, he'd be putting up pretty big numbers too. But really, I mean, I think he's played 4 games, and he's thrown for a total of like 730 yards, and 300 of those came last week against Georgia Tech. So if you do the math, before the Georgia Tech game, he was averaging about 130 yards per game throwing the ball. That isn't something they do a ton of. They got a really good receiver in the Flowers kid. But, yeah, he's a good player, and he can move. He can scramble. And that's, to me, that might be as big a fear you have for him as anything else is what he's going to do with his legs on third down. If you can get him that up, you got a pretty good chance. But he's a good player, man. It's pretty bad luck for Florida State that he decided to come back and play this season because I think if the other kid was playing, I think Florida State wins by multiple scores.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Russell's starting, yeah. So Dracovic started. I mean, he transferred in from Notre Dame and had a really good COVID year last year, throwing 17 touchdowns, 5 picks. He started against Colgate and threw 3 touchdowns with like a 67% completion percentage. Then he got hurt against UMass. He only threw 4 passes in that game. His first game back was Virginia Tech on a Friday night, and they just took the air out of the ball. He only threw it 13 times. And then against Georgia Tech, he was 13 of 20 for 310 yards, which is just beautiful.
That's crazy. That's crazy to throw for 300 yards on 13 completions. So, yeah, they apparently don't want to throw the ball a lot, but it's Boston College. We knew that already. They're going to want to try to establish the run. Feels like that's a pretty good matchup for the way you defend because you're pretty good at stopping the run, but we'll see. We'll see on Saturday at noon on the ACC network if you have it.
Wise words from Gregory Morand. It's all about matchup unless your talent is superior.
Yeah, you're right.
Khalil posted this earlier in the week in the comments. I always wonder if he's just passive-aggressively like telling us he's talking to people in the comments. But he says, I don't know why people are downing Jarvis Brownlee after this game. Charleston Rambo is non-existent until late in the third quarter. The catches he did make were great throws and catches.
Yeah, agreed. I hope I said that. I thought I said that the other day. Might have been headlines, but I talk so much it's hard to remember what show it's on, but I thought it was on this one. The problem, Khalil, and I agree with you, Pillar, call you Palil Young, because you're a pillar, that is such an egregious penalty at a time where you don't need it. I know that's not even defense. That's just him being on special teams. And we can blame the coach, I guess. He said it was a middle block. So the guys on the wings aren't even really supposed to be doing much. And for him to come around that out of control to knock into a kicker was just really bad. And then the tackle was really bad. But, hey, man, you're going to miss tackles. People make plays. I did think he was good on Rambo. Rambo wasn't he certainly wasn't the factor that he was against who they played the week before? Tech?
Yes.
Where he had 200. By the way, Georgia Tech's just going to give up big plays to everyone in the secondary. But Rambo had over 200 yards in that game. And in this one, I don't know that he made – I mean, the catch on fourth down is just a great catch. He made some really nice catches on some nice throws. But I thought Brownlee, for the most part, did a really good job covering. And he blew up some of those screens out wide early on in the game too, where he was really physical and fought through the blocks. I'm not here for a lot of Brownlee slander because of how hard he's played this year and how many plays he's made and how many times he's had to be on the field. He's played almost every snap. That kid gives it his all. It's just a couple of his mistakes were so out in the open and obvious this season.
Let's make some tackles when it's really, really important. They're all
God, they would be 5-5 right now if he just pushes that kid out of bounds.
They've played 10 games. He is graded below 60 3 times, and twice he's been at 60.2 and 60.8. So, I mean, just barely above the sort of.
Well, that's for the people that take those rankings as gospel, which they're not always gospel. But I also know he has to have played the most snaps of anybody on the team, him and Jermaine, and he's played
is up there too.
Yeah, man, Jamie's legit. That was it. That was a sneaky good transfer portal addition too, man. That guy's been nailed since he got here.
Thank you, Khalil, for the question. Hey, look at this guy! Let's go!
The man, the myth, the legend.
Dollar bills, y'all.
200 American from our guy Shane Kirkland. He's on the pillar. Kirknole. Right.
Kirk dog.
Yeah. The only person I get out of that I left my house for this year twice.
You did. Yeah, you hung out with him twice and you got to meet Jeremy Renner, the table next to him. So that was fun.
And I got to find that, man. I think he
Thank you very much, Shane. Thank you very much. Please say hello to Michelle. You guys are the best. Thank you, man.
I think Jeremy Renner's name is Jeff. No, it's
that sounds right. That sounds right.
I take it back. I'm gonna see if I can find his real name. But yeah, shout out to him. Shane, thank you so much, man. He says just got caught up with work, doing a drive-by. Ask a question, Shane. Come on, get involved. But he just says keep up all the great work. Let's go Seminoles.
All right, Shane. Absolutely, buddy. Absolutely. I guess I won't see you. I think he's going to try to come back for the spring game, maybe, and maybe for a basketball weekend in the winter. And then we'll see you for Duquesne, buddy. Yeah. The big Duquesne game.
Part of your proceeds, Shane, will go to the Willie Taggart Memorial Fund because it's going to go to me, and I'm going to Topgolf at Doak this weekend, which I'm sure part of this is to create revenue streams for the athletic department, which is going to offset some of that salary they're still paying for him.
Yeah, let me know how that is, man. I like Topgolf.
It ain't cheap, man.
Oh, it better not be. Got some bills to pay.
I guess so, yes. Well, the thing is, so I think on the flyer it said that the targets are going to be between 60 and 130 yards away. So I can't bust out the big stick.
Well, you can. Just hit it out of the stadium.
On the stadium drive.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think, like, they're having you enter from the Unconquered statue, so you're going to go up to the Champions Club. Am I going to be teeing off from the Champions Club? And if I am, how can you go 130 yards inside of that stadium unless they set up something like where the band sits, or like the varsity club's going to have a net in front of it? I don't know. It's 130 yards. I'm trying to think how that.
Well, it's to the back of the end zone. The opposite end zone is probably 130 yards away.
Yeah. All right. 120 if you count both end zones. I'm still going to try to find that guy's name. But hey, Shane, thank you, man. We appreciate you so much. And it's always good seeing you at the CP. Look at that. I just said that. Look at that. CP. Shout out.
There you go.
Todd Gibson's here, everybody. What up, Todd? Give me a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Hey, CL. Is that you, Corey? Hey, I haven't been around for live shows lately because I can't miss a weekday. without hearing your angelic voices and highly intellectual insight.
Speak it, Todd. Speak it, buddy.
So I'm just going to put that on my LinkedIn. So I'm just popping in for a second to show my appreciation. I will listen tomorrow, guys. Go Noles.
Todd, thanks, buddy. That's very, very nice. It sounds almost as if you're being really sarcastic, but I'm going to take it as a compliment. Whether you intended it to be sarcastic or not, to me, that's a compliment, buddy. And it hits home. I appreciate it.
You want me to do my Kuiper? Dad. That's all I got. I'm telling it, Shay. Thanks, Todd. We appreciate it. Thank you very much, man. As you're listening to this podcast, hopefully it's a smooth drive into work or just an easy day to work for you. Hopefully, we appreciate it. Quantrell knows. Corey, the latest bowl projection has Florida State versus Northern Illinois in the Gasparilla Bowl.
Come and get some, Huskies.
Not the best bowl, but anything beats Shreveport. Am I right? Yeah.
Again, the people working the bowl in Shreveport were just very, very nice and accommodating. They can only do so much, though. That's a tough city. It's a hard scrabble city, man, with some stories. There's some stories in those streets. Again, just for perspective, and I'm not trying to besmirch a town. I guess I am. But Florida State, their team hotel was in a casino. I'm not talking about Bally's or like the Mirage. It's a casino you could expect in Shreveport. And right across the street, literally right across the street, was the Larry Flint Hustler Club that was closed. I tried to go in multiple times and the door was locked. So that's the scene that it was in Shreveport. But that would be awesome to go to the Gasparilla Bowl. Yeah, that's in St. Pete, right?
No, I actually think they've moved it to Tampa. I think it's actually where the Bucks play. It was in Trop where the Rays play, but I think they moved it to Tampa. I wish it was in St. Pete. All my buddies live in St. Pete. It'd be a little bit of a better sort of tailgate.
We get the pirate ship, though. That'd be fun.
Fire the cannons!
I don't know how you have a projection for a team that's may not make the bowl.
Hey, all right. Everybody's aboard the climb, Corey. Everybody.
I guess. It's cool, man. That would be awesome to go to Tampa for whatever week that would be.
Yeah, Jeff dropped Jeff. I don't want to say his. I mean, he put his. It's on Jeff Corcoran in Baton Rouge. He threw $5 at you guys are in headlines. Jeremy Renner checking in. Go Noles.
Oh, that's right.
Enjoyed hanging out Friday night, guys. So there you go.
And his brother was really nice too. I should give more respect to his brother than just his brother didn't look like a famous actor. I guess that's the problem.
Was brother Clay? Was that his name? Clay?
Could be.
I'm terrible.
I'm terrible. You're much better at names than I am, but I'm terrible at names.
Mark Sermons with a little super sticker action. We can't see what it looks like, but hopefully y'all see it. Thanks, Mark. Appreciate that, man. Tom Mortner says Heisman winner on offense and defense next year.
Is he talking about Travis Hunter?
Okay. Boom.
I guess. I don't know. He might be responding to something other up in the chat. But, speaking of Heisman, I have no clue who I'm voting for. Like, not that my vote really matters. There's 1,000 of us. But I have no event. I have no idea who I'm going to vote for the Heisman. Am I going to vote for another quarterback? I think this is the year to vote for a defensive player. But then I don't want to vote for the Oregon kid, Thibodeau, because their biggest win, he didn't play. He wasn't even playing for the Ohio State game. So I don't know, man. I don't know.
Carter Adams asks, do we think Florida State will have over 200 rushing yards at Boston College?
Yes, something will have gone wrong if that doesn't happen. Boston College is really bad against the run, which is weird. That's not normal for them. They are actually being outrushed on the season. I think they're averaging like 170 a game, and they're giving up like 185. And Florida State has a good rushing attack. So if they're averaging giving up 185, you'd think when a good rushing attack with a mobile quarterback rolls in and is dedicated to running, you'd hope you're rushing for around 250. If you don't run for 200 yards, it's going to be really hard to win that game.
I agree with all that. Yeah. I don't know, man. I really am excited for this game. As excited as I could be for what are they, like a 6-4 team taking on a 4-6 team?
Yeah.
Because it really, I like that coach a lot at Boston College. I like Jeff Hafley a lot. I think it's going to be kind of a combination of like the soundness that Clemson plays with, but not nearly as gifted athletically.
Yeah.
And, probably about on par with, and not as athletic as Miami either, but much more sound, like some kind of weird hybrid between those two. Because they know what makes Florida State run right now, and it's Jordan Travis. And shoot, man, it really might be Jordan Travis. Maybe teams are respecting the run too much. Maybe, there's going to be a certain point where you got to pick your poison with him, and maybe they've decided that, like, we'll let him we'll live with him throwing the ball on
No,
us.
absolutely. I think that's everybody's goal. Every defense's goal coming in is to make him beat him with their arm, with his arm, and he did that Saturday night.
But now that they're seeing that he's quite capable of that could put.
I still think you go in like you're dedicated to stopping the run, and that's why. And plus, BC has a really good pass defense. What'd you say? They're like third in the country. But you can't just depend solely on the run. You've got to hit it. Just hit a couple of shot plays, a couple of them to keep them honest, and that could be enough.
Shout out to whoever dropped that PFF grade for us in our chat. I know Tom's out there, Gene's out there, so maybe Ira, who knows. PFF has got Florida State's defense 28th overall. That's solid. Boston College is grading out at 83.7, which I think is probably a little bit better than what Florida State's at, but I can't say that for sure. All right, look at that. I could sort it by that. Florida State is 28th in defense on PFF. That is correct. Boston College is 31st. Look at that.
Sorry, Eagles. Sorry, you just lost.
Train Aslan. Get off.
PFF you nailed your coffin shut.
Hey, there we go. There's our guy in Naples. It's Mark, everybody. Mark's going to Beantown, but first he just wanted to be like, $50. Thank you, Mark. Mark's right there, everybody.
Have fun, Mark. Have fun in Boston. Hey, go do that Freedom Trail. It's a good time. There's a church involved somewhere along. Not quite sure what its significance is, what happened there, but it was something famous and historic, and you could go walk in it.
Mark says, wake up. Do you expect the North Carolina game plan on Saturday, or rather the University of North Carolina game plan on Saturday?
Right.
RPO to perfection, or do they let Jordan rip it a little more? I'll be there eating lobster rolls and telling BC to feel it.
Telling BC to feel it, Mark. Okay. I hadn't heard that phrase before. Feel this. Feel this, BC. Man, lobster rolls are awesome. Good grief, I love lobster rolls. Just dipping that stuff in warm butter. I mean, are you kidding? Warm butter really on anything is next level. But yeah, I would expect that's what they are. They kind of know what they are. I think they probably want to throw in the neighborhood of 18 to 20 times. And it's going to be a lot of RPO, but with the emphasis on the R. And as Ira pointed out in the Warchant report that'll be on our channel, I guess tomorrow or the next day, that we recorded earlier, you also want to see a little bit more out of your running backs. Like Corbin and Ward haven't been themselves here the last couple of games. I don't think. If they can get back to themselves, and mainly just Ward get the ball, but if they can get back to themselves and looking like themselves, that should be a very, very good outcome. It could be a very good outcome on Saturday because they're tough to defend.
Yeah, RPOs. Thank you, Mark. We appreciate it, man.
You're the man, Mark. You know that. Have fun in Boston, buddy.
Yeah, Georgia fan in here saying that he loves Mike Norvell's compassion. He looked really happy after the Miami win. Going forward on 4th and 14 was risky, but Mike Norvell wanted to get his guys to win. Justin, we had to, man. What are we going to kick the field goal and try to get an onside kick?
Could have punted, get him down to like the 1-inch line. Hey, I will say this, though. If you heard, thank you, Justin. Dogs are always appreciated here. They don't like Florida either, so the enemy of your enemy.
Did you see that halftime?
The Kirby Smart thing, right?
Yeah.
How awesome is that?
I love it.
I want to know the story, who recorded it, which player is running stadium steps. But if you have not heard it, we could not play it here. It is full of vitriol and a lot of Jeff Cameron type words.
Hey.
But it is awesome. It's him speaking at halftime of the Florida game and basically extolling his players to make them quit. And they're talking all their junk. I love that you're not saying anything to them. Make them quit. And that's really what they did. It's awesome. It's the stuff you don't see And I can't imagine the backstory of how we're hearing it now. But yeah, it works.
Can't please all the people all the time. King Mac, welcome to Hudjavandi Island. After 10 games, why are we not fielding punts? What is the issue? Coaching, players. It's horrific. I mean,
it is horrific. King Mac, it's been I'm typically upbeat about where this program is going and where it is and how much better it's gotten. Special teams on a whole have been a drastic disappointment, in my opinion, from what we thought we were going to see. Everything else seems to be improving drastically, really. Offense and defense, especially defense, has really improved a lot from last year. Special teams has gotten worse. They are a net negative. They don't win you games. Sometimes they almost lose you games. In not fielding punts, I have no idea. I have no idea what's going on. Get somebody back there that has some confidence, because it has cost them, I bet, all told, 115, 120 yards of field position this year by guys just letting punts roll.
Let's go speed around here as we wind down the show. Debo Samuel fan. It's crazy. Florida State fan as well. All right, pick the Seminole Awards. Need a player for MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, Offensive Rookie of the Year, Defensive Rookie of the Year, and most important player. I don't know what
improved. I would assume improved.
Okay.
I feel like most important would be the same as most valuable.
Yeah. MVP Jordan Travis.
Him or Jermaine. Probably Jordan Travis, though, because like I said, when he plays, they're 7-4. When he plays most of the game, they're 7-4. When he doesn't, they're 0-8. So
Defensive
probably him.
Yeah, Defensive Player of the Year, Jermaine.
Yeah.
Offensive Rookie of the Year. Can we call Rob Scott a rookie or no?
No. Is Trayshawn Ward?
No. He was in El Paso, bro.
I know, but it's the first time he's really been like a featured guy. But yeah, he's not a rookie. I guess you'd go with one of the freshman linemen, even though they all played last year too.
I guess maybe that's a good thing. Is it not a good thing that there hasn't really been a freshman that's wowed us on the offensive side of the ball?
Yeah, not a true freshman. No, there's not really even one in the running, honestly. So yeah, I guess one of the linemen, or Malik McClain. I mean, he's got 7 or 8 catches.
Defensive Rookie of the Year, Omarion Cooper.
Noles.
Oh,
I go with Kevin Noles on that one.
Okay. He's had more time. I'm going with Cooper. And then most improved.
Deloach. I say Deloach.
Okay.
Who do you got?
I was going to say Dylan Gibbons.
Okay, yeah, that's a good one too.
But I mean, he wasn't here last year. Who's improved the most? Maurice Smith, maybe? I don't know. That's a good one. Yeah, Kalen Deloach is probably the answer. I'm trying to think secondary-wise. I mean, Akeem's been up and down. But when he plays good, you're like, oh, that's why he was a 5-star, but not consistent enough. I'll go with Kalen Deloach. That's a good answer. Let's see here. Hey, look at this guy. Let's go.
Guys, this is a very special occasion. The Godfather himself has been kind enough.
It's the Godmother.
The Godfather.
Oh.
This is his damn house. He lives there. He sleeps 20 feet away.
Oh, should have known. Courtney loves us. She carries us $100.
Courtney, you've always been our favorite. You know that. Don't let them know that. Don't let them know we said that. But Courtney, you know you're our favorite.
Lemix family are atop the pillar here on the rear side of this. And don't forget, everybody, head over to DeLunaCoffee.com. Use the promo code WarChant15. They've got you. Your mornings are really good because you're getting out of bed and you're alive and you've got opportunity. And then you usually listen to this show.
Yeah.
So you're just climbing. But, man, if you pour yourself some of that DeLuna coffee in one of these tumblers here, unstoppable. Unstoppable. Even a 4th and 14 can't get in your way. So head to DeLunaCoffee.com. Use that promo code WarChant15. I think I'm going to go with Graffiti Bridge, Corey. They sold me on it. The purple pops, and it's a Colombian bean. And I think I need, I like Sofia Vergara. So I figured maybe that could translate to my coffee as well. So.
And you also like Prince. And I think that was a Prince movie, Under the Graffiti Bridge.
Oh.
Right? I think so. Maybe that's why it's purple.
Okay.
We need to get the backstory of Graffiti Bridge. I feel like that was a Prince movie back in the day after Purple Rain. Didn't do as well, but still. And, hey, Courtney, you have a wonderful Thanksgiving as well. And FFM to you too.
It's just called Graffiti Bridge. It's made in 1990. It's the unofficial sequel to Purple Rain according to IMDb.
There you go. I think Tevin Campbell, if you know that name, he had a big hit song. It's like a 14-year-old, the Round and Round, Round and Round. I don't sing it like Tevin. I got a different tone in my voice, different pitch. But I think he had a hit song in that movie, maybe, or I could be completely wrong.
Look at our guy here. Yeah, Round and Round. It won the Young Artist Award. You got nominated for a Grammy for that, for best.
Man, it was a huge hit. Old Tevin was on top of the world back then.
Okay. Hey, Courtney, thank you so much. We should see you guys next week on the show, but if we don't, happy Thanksgiving to you, Ed and Brett. We really appreciate it. Everything you guys have done for us. It's amazing. For real.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Everybody wants to get do we want to get Dan Mullen fired? Like, do we want to get Manny fired?
Well,
that's a good hire, but I don't want Mario. And I know everyone's like, oh, he's not going to leave Oregon. I don't know. I don't want Mario in Miami.
You're always going to want to beat your rival, sure, and you don't want to end the season on a loss to your rival, absolutely. But you'd have to think long and hard as a Florida State fan. Like, okay, here's the scenario: you beat Florida to get to 5-7 or 6-6, but it guarantees that Dan Mullen is fired. That unknown is pretty scary. Because if you've been paying attention to that program over the years, they'll sprinkle some not great coaches with some awesome coaches. And when they get an awesome coach, they can be really hard to deal with. So do you want, seeing that you're not playing for a championship anyway, would you rather lose to keep Mullen there, knowing what he's doing on the recruiting trail? Or would you rather win, get him fired, and then they bring in whoever? And now you're really worried. It's a tough deal. It's a real question there. There's a win-win, lose-lose to both scenarios.
I just don't know who, Dave Aranda's a guy that people like. I don't know if he leaves. I think like Washington and Southern Cal are going to go after him. He's a West Coast guy. I don't think I would like Dave Aranda at Florida. That gets me a little bit nervous. But hey, when you really think about it, and then that's Spurrier and Urban Meyer. And then a whole bunch of what? Yeah.
Well, that's 2 out of their last 5, right?
We could say Bobby and Jimbo, but it's like, the amount of time the years those two combined for was a long time.
Yeah. So, odds are they won't find the next Urban Meyer or Steve Spurrier, but we kind of know this guy isn't that guy. Yeah. And the devil, there's something to that.
I just want to.
Oh, we got Ingvar, man. We got Ingvar throwing his rubles again.
I think it's $1.37.
That's fine, man. We'll take whatever we can, Ingvar. Thank you very much.
Again, huge love from St. Petersburg, Russia.
Hey, come on. We're not that kind of show. We're not that kind of show.
Hey, they're in the same continent as my people. I can
all right.
I got privilege card on that.
It's cool that we have somebody in Russia listening to us. And what I would guess is 7, 8 in the morning, 9 in the morning over there. It's cool that you're there. Yeah, really wake up.
But was it Urban Meyer wasn't on a lot of people's radars in 2005. That was sort of a bold hire by Bernie Matcham, and I think Foley was still the AD then, obviously.
Yeah. Well, he'd gone undefeated at Utah, so he was considered an up and comer. And the problem for Florida State fans was that Ron Zook, who could not coach well, was not a leader of a program, stocked that roster to the brim with NFL talent. And then Urban Meyer came in and it's like, this is going to be fun, and won 2 championships in 3 years or whatever it was.
Yeah. I don't know in this day
and then quit.
You really can't take chances on hires. You have to go after a really solid, and not saying that's a bad thing or any stretch, but I'm just trying to think the names that Florida would go after names that we know, like coaches that we've seen coach probably dozens of games. And I can't think of anybody that would jump and leave. I don't know, Lane. Maybe they could pull Lane away from Ole Miss. I wouldn't like that. But
I would think, speaking of Cristobal, and I don't think he would leave either, but I think if he was going to leave, he'd leave for Florida before he left for Miami.
Oh, come on.
Because you can win at Florida. Again, Miami's not winning anything. They are the coach killer. Everybody that goes there gets fired after 3 or 4 years. At some point, it's not the coaches. It's you as a program. You are not set up to win championships anymore. The facilities, the fan base, there's a lot of obstacles that they can't overcome. A good coach at Florida, just like a good coach at Florida State, knows they can compete for championships. But I don't think he'd leave Oregon for either. But I would be stunned if he left it for Miami, even though that's where he's from and he coached there and played there.
No, I wouldn't be stunned if he left at all, man. I think
he would deserve what's coming for him then.
I think Al Golden's a tight ends coach for the Lions, maybe, or an assistant for the Lions. Randy Shannon's an analyst here. Mark Rickson, the broadcast booth. It isn't like they've really hired. You talk about coach killing. I don't know if it's a chicken or egg thing with Miami, but one part of the puzzle seems to be kind of taken care of in that you have a quarterback for at least one more year, probably 2 years. So, like, if you ever were to leave that for that job, if you're a guy like Cristobal or anybody like a Billy Napier, like you've got a quarterback. Not that he's amazing, but like you've got a good quarterback that you can build around half the battle. So, they look a little bit ripe. I think if you want to leave, Lafayette, Louisiana, or Eugene, Oregon, when you're born and raised in Miami.
Well, those are wholly different places. Louisiana and Eugene, like he's at a prominent program that can pay him whatever he wants. He can have Nike posters all over his bedroom wall. They can pay him a lot more than Miami can pay him.
But just like if you're I don't know, I'm a guy from Florida.
I know you love South Florida, man. You're it's in your blood. It's in your blood.
I was trying. It would be like, I don't know, if Oregon wanted me to come cover like the football team. They could give me all the money they want. I'd be like, no, I'm staying in Tallahassee. Why would I want to go all the way out there? Like, this is home. Like this,
if the Oregon rival side offered you $550,000 to go cover to go do for them what you do for us, you would say no to that because this is home.
I don't want to say how much more that's what I'm making, but that's not.
Well, it's $100,000 more than what you're making.
But yeah,
it's 20% more. Guys, we pay great at Warchant. We're always looking for interns.
But he's not getting paid. Miami wouldn't be that far below it, plus the whole state income taxing. Plus, yeah, man, like I don't know, man. Like would you want to go do it? Like, do you want to be in Georgia? I know you have a child and everything, so it's a little bit different, but man, where you live, I've lived elsewhere, man. I've lived in Mississippi. I've lived in Alabama. I live in Montana. Like, I love Florida. Like, it's home. It just is. I mean,
well, I also think the difference in that dumb analogy I just made is that he's been there now for 5 years. So it could be home to him now. Like, it might have grown on him. It's not like the unknown of, man, I don't want to go live in Eugene. He lives in Eugene right now.
Let's wrap this up because I got to do something at 8 o'clock.
And I got to go play some trivia.
Terry Carter with $20 in the jar. Thank you very much, Terry.
Thank you, Terry.
Just started watching. I'm going to rewind and play it again. Go Noles. Thanks for what you guys do. Terry, thank you, man. Thank you for supporting us like that. That's
what's that awesome avatar? Is that him and his daughter?
It's a child, undisclosed child. I
okay.
Can't see the gender. I said child.
Yeah, my eyesight's terrible.
Yeah. Ingvar gave us more rubles.
We are crushing it.
In Norvell, we trust. Rob Krause says the old North Church Quarry is where the lanterns were hung. One if by land, two if by sea.
Okay. I knew it had a Paul Revere feel to it for some reason. Okay, Rob, thank you very much. I should know that. I knew it was one if by land, two if by sea, three if by air. But yeah, man, thank you very much for I knew it in my deep down in my plums. Oh, I knew that the church had something to do with Paul Revere.
William McMillan with another super sticker with $5. Thank you, William. That's very kind of you. Ingvar,
thank you, William. Thank you, buddy.
Ingvar just hemorrhaging rubles, 100 more rubles. He says the MVP of the season are the Nole fans at Doak Campbell for sure.
Well, when is early signing day? Is that December? December what? Do we know? We should know that. It's all right. Look it up, Aslan. Look it up. But if and when they knock out this class and put together one of a top 10 or 12 class in the country,
December 15th.
Those two games, Notre Dame and Miami, will have an enormous impact on that, in my opinion. The fans showed up. Now, they weren't great for some other games, but that's fine. I'm not besmirching you guys. But the Notre Dame in the Miami game were electric atmospheres. They were two of the better atmospheres in the country the entire season. It was awesome. It was awesome to see. Those recruits felt that. They can see what Doak is at its full potential, and that was all because of the fans that showed up and stayed loud especially in those fourth quarters, man. Those were electric.
Ed says the bag on Graffiti Bridge used to be green, but we changed it for the Prince fan club who bought a lot for their club members.
Oh, there you go. Nice, Ed. Smart.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Wes cutting
You
us.
should do like a Born to Run coffee.
Oh.
Yeah, because there's a lot of Bruce Springsteen fans out there.
Ooh, who's sponsoring who now?
Yeah, Brew to Run. You can do something. We can work on it. We'll work on it.
Sean Baxley just says happy Thanksgiving, y'all. That's right.
Thank you, Sean. Thank you, buddy. We I guess we'll do a show next week, right? Before Thanksgiving. It's a Tuesday.
Let's see if we can bump it up to Tuesday. That would be very nice.
Oh yeah, we wouldn't do Wednesday. If we could do Tuesday, maybe, or even Monday. I don't care. We can do a live show on Monday. But yeah, we maybe we'll take we'll see. But either way, happy Thanksgiving to everyone. If we don't have a live show next week.
Ingvar with more rubles. I mean, come on, Ingvar. It's going to be a cold winter, man. Save up.
Thank you, Ingvar.
Appreciate
Happy Thanksgiving to you as well.
That says he'll call the boss. All right, we are done. Thanks so much, everybody, for watching. We appreciate the thumbs ups. If you could hit that again, if you haven't done so already. We appreciate all the questions, the involvement. If you could leave a 5-star rating and review if you're listening to us on the podcast version of this. And thanks again to Ed and Courtney. Thanks to Mark A., Mark Sermons. Thanks to Todd. Thanks to Eric Angel. Thanks to our guy, Kirkland. Thank you to Ingvar. Todd.
Ingvar bringing the heat late.
Sean Baxley. God, I'm forgetting somebody. William McMillan's throwing dollars at us. Terry Carter. So many of y'all make this show what it is.
And thank you to those who didn't give us money either for being here and watching and being a part of the conversation all season. Just wait. I'm telling you, just wait until this team is 9-2. When that comes, this thing is going to be off the hook. We're going to have to do 3-hour live shows. But we really do appreciate you guys being interested in this show, being interested in our channel, and being interested in this football team. It makes our jobs fun, really fun.
Matthew Cash and Rob Rathbun, didn't forget about you guys either. He's Corey Amazon. Thank you so much for watching and listening to Wake Up Warchant, fueled by DeLuna Coffee.